Hi, it is iYikKam time again. So today I'd like to share with you on the systematic descriptions of Wing Chun Kuen learning, which include the key points and the process. Okay. Now, for Wing Chun Kuen, if we want formal university to take serious on us, and we want Wing Chun practitioner can be a professional, we better get things straight. If we don't get things straight, people are going to look at Wing Chun like a cult. Okay. And in Asia recently, there are many things happens. For example, just recently, the White Crane of Fujian in its museum, making a claim that Wing Chun is simply the White Crane of Fujian. Okay, so this is a type of a baseless claim. And also, as we know that a month ago that the Taiwan MMA player challenged Wing Chun. Okay, this is a newspaper. So if we don't make ourselves really clear on what we are practicing and keeping going through this drama one by one, then it will completely confuse people and mislead people on what Wing Chun is, and thus one cannot expect the formal university to take any Wing Chuners seriously. So that's the reason why I like to share this thing, open the thing up, okay? Let everybody see what's going on. Now, I'm going to use this graph which I made to present the systematic descriptions of Wing Chun Kuen learning, its key point and the processes. Okay, this is a chart, like a flow chart. So we're gonna go there in the details. Now, first thing, we need to know what is actually a traditional Chinese martial art, because Wing Chun is one of the style of Chinese martial art. Well, Chinese martial art is a technology solving the fighting issue or fighting problem. Okay, so Chinese martial arts have to have the result to be able to fight and strengthens one's body. Okay, so because it is a fighting art and it needs to strengthen one's body, to getting result, to be effective and to be pragmatic is the bottom line. So traditional Chinese martial art is not a literature of philosophy or religions. Okay. Now, we today can see all kinds of traditional Chinese martial art legends. Okay. In elsewhere, in Wing Chun, all kinds of stuff. Okay. Well, so what happens is this. In the Ming Dynasty, if you read the classic of the Ming Dynasty on the martial art, you can see a straightforward, no-nonsense, direct writing of the fighting art. Simple as that, okay? Now, problem is after the Qing Dynasty and starting people adding in religion stuff, myth, legends into the Chinese martial art stories. Okay? And then so the Chinese martial art become very mythical, philosophical, all kinds of stuff. And as you can see that this type of pattern even proceed up to today. And when people talk about this mysterious qi, mysterious jing, internal art, and all kinds of stuff, okay? But if you look at the Ming Dynasty, which is pre-1644, it's not like that, okay? You can, like for example, the Ming Dynasty's general, Qi Guang, everybody know about it. He is facing the Japanese pirate samurai sword. Do you think he have time to listen to those Zen, Dao, internal, and then mysterious power of Qi, mysterious power of Jing type of stuff? When he had to face the Japanese pirate samurai sword and people get killed in the war zone, okay? So if you read about the writing of Qi Guang, for example, it's not this kinds of writing like what we have heard or we read today. Okay, so that's the facts of the reality of the Chinese martial art. So what I present you here is I'm going back to the Ming Dynasty. Okay, and to just get a feeling for you guys. If we are now go back to the Ming Dynasty, the way how we practice martial art will very close to today's, say you practice Thai boxing, practice karate, Kyokushin, practice MMA, BJJ, those type of stuff. It's not what like today's internal art, magic, chi, those kind of stuff, okay? So today my presentation will be get back to the root, okay? Otherwise, we cannot solve this issue. And as for making up stories, you can hear that many people this few decades making up story for their oldest Wing Chun, most authentic Wing Chun, all this kind of stuff, which is baseless, okay? So let's look at this White Crane claim. Okay, so this is the claim from White Crane of Fujian. So in just recently. So what his claim is like this. He said, Wing Chun is actually, Wing Chun is a White Crane of Fujian. Okay, so what happened is that the White Crane of the Fujian practitioner, after they lost the Taiping uprising, they go underground and they teach White Crane of Fujian in Canton. And then they are using a fictitious name, okay, which is Wing Chun, okay, to cover up themselves. So that is their claim, okay. So they say that Wing Chun is actually the Fujian Wing Chun, okay. Now, this is actually really baseless, okay. Key number one. Okay, point number one, and actually I wrote an article to clear this mess up, okay, in Asia. Key number one, we know that Wing Chun Queen exists in Red Boat prior to the Taiping uprising. Okay, so it is not as here claim the Fujian White Crane people claim that Wing Chun is spread after these people from Fujian lost their Taiping uprising and then hiding in Canton. Okay? So historically, by facts, the timing is not true. Wing Chun exists before the loss of the Taiping uprising. Number two, Wing Chun DNA. Okay, Wing Chun's DNA. As we can know today, Wing Chun is a type of short strike art. Okay, from General Qi Guang, from the Shaolin, we know that the root is the short strike art. The DNA is a short strike art, is a sticking body short strike art. May get into it in an evolution while it's evolved into the Wing Chun, and then White Crane of Fujian get into it, fuse together, make today's Wing Chun. Okay, so we don't deny that in Wing Chun that is a fragment of White Crane of Fujian, but it is just not true that Wing Chun is Fujian White Crane with a different naming. Okay, that's just simply not true. And this is the Shaolin sticking body short strike. Look at the body stick together. Those type of DNA, okay, that's from Shaolin, and we can trace it to 1784 and 1644 those stick. Okay, so this is on DNA. Now let's settle one other thing, which is in this museum they claim. They claim that Wing Chun is original the White Crane Wing Chun. This is the character, and because they want to stay underground, and so they use the character here, Wing, as our Wing Chun. Okay, so this is the Wing Chun. The Wing of Wing Chun, this is the Wing Chun. This is our Wing Chun. Okay, so they say that because they want to hide themselves, so they add this here. Okay, so let me write this. So they say that this is the Fujian Wing, and then they add this part to this. Okay, just to hide themselves, and this is our Wing Chun. Okay, well, in Chinese character, this is eternal. Okay, eternal, for a long time, eternal. This is praise, praise. Okay, there are two different words, character, and mean differently. Now, let me share with you, this is really important. The key is this Chun character. Chun character in the ancient Chinese mean play, like opera, the play in the opera. Okay, the opera play. So that is you can read it in like in the Shanghai Tiansun Hall and those kind of things. This is in ancient Chinese. Okay, so Wing Chun. Okay, Wing Chun. Wing is praise. Chun is opera or the play. So Wing Chun is just mean the singing the opera or praise of the opera. Actually, which meaning singing the opera. Okay, singing the opera. So Wing Chun Queen, this is the martial art. Wing Chun Queen actually mean, according to Chinese, okay, classical Chinese, Wing Chun Queen means the martial art of the people who play opera, who sing opera. Okay, so Wing Chun is actually the martial art of the opera people. Okay, that's how straightforward, how clear it is. It got nothing to do with this all this talk about, oh, you know, it is originally this type of wing, and then because they want to hide themselves, so they wrote the character this way and all sort of stuff, which doesn't make sense at all. Okay, and if you really go study Chinese classical, it's not like that. And thus this type of stuff is just, you can see that it's illiterate people try to guess, or people who have no idea of Chinese culture, just making all kinds of things like that. Okay, now why do we want to get really serious on this stuff? Why do we want to clarify this stuff? Well, number one, you don't want to mess up the Wing Chun DNA. If you mess it up, so are you going to tell all the guy who want to study Wing Chun, go to Fujian White Crane, learning from there, that is the most authentic, the oldest Wing Chun? Well, if you do that, that means you simply don't learn Wing Chun. You just go learn White Crane. White Crane is not Wing Chun, even though we are not denying that there's a part of Wing Chun technology, this white crane technology being imported or used or fused in Wing Chun today. But we cannot just simply ignore the main DNA here, and also there's other component like in the Mei Shi Zhuang. So this type of stuff, this type of story, I bring this up is because it become a mess. It's just everybody creating stories, okay, to sell themselves, and then it mislead everybody. And if you get this to the former university, they're gonna check into you, and you in the deep sauce, okay? Because when people look into this thing and dig deep, then they can see things. And also, why do we want to mislead our own Wing Chun brother and sister and go study nonsense and look at it as like, oh, this is the oldest Wing Chun? In the past few decades, you already see many people adding something from Fujian, from here and from there, from Taiji and everything, try to claim that's Wing Chun, and simply clueless on the short strike art. Look at it, okay? Look at the YouTube, okay? And what they do is those kind of things is just mislead the heck of the thing, okay? It is actually doing damage to the Wing Chun Kuen, and it's actually screw up the Wing Chuners, okay? Now, if anybody want to join the code like those, there's their freedom. However, Wing Chun must not be like that, because Wing Chun not belongs to them, okay? So this has to be clear. Now, in the traditional Chinese martial art, there are three parts. The first part is the proper conduct. The second part is the fighting skill. The third part is the body, physical body development, or physical body breathing and breathing development. There's these three parts. 1, 2, 3. Okay? Now, it is very important that to place this proper conduct as number one, because this is a fighting art. You don't want to give this kind of thing to screw up people. And so in the old writing of Shaolin Short Strike, it said that this art is teach to those who is good and actually solving the issue of the community and the country. Never teach this to those who is actually bullying others people and create problem for the society and for the country. Okay, so that's why proper conduct in the Chinese martial art is very important. And here I listed up the DNA of the Wing Chun. Is said here: teach to the good person who help the community and the country, but you're not going to teach the people who just bully people or screw up other people. Okay. So that is the conduct part. And then, because it is a fighting art, face it, you need to develop fighting skill. Okay. And in order to fight, one need to have a strong body. If you don't have the strong body, how the heck are you going to fight? Okay. This is just a fact. Okay. There's nothing mysterious about it. Now, speaking of proper conduct, let's look at, this is from the Taiping Revolution era. Okay, this is by Li Manmao. Okay, the Li Manmao, who is the leader of the uprising of the Red Boat. Okay, where we Wing Chun ancestor is a part of the uprising. This is saying that is for helping the people. This is saying that so that everyone be able to have a good job and live and then do their job. Okay. And here even he said that when you are watching the opera, you should not have any gambling over there. Okay. So this is the type of proper conduct of the ancestor of the Wing Chun in the Red Boat era. Okay. So it is just not just talk is a talk, but they really practice it. Okay, so they put this when they are uprising and they have their place to rule. Okay, so we need to know that they walk their talk. Now, as we know that this is a fighting skill, okay, Wing Chun is for fighting. So because Wing Chun is for fighting, the fighting skill and the physical body development is the bottom line of it. Okay. So because it is the bottom line, one need to study from a proper teacher. Okay, one need to study with a sifu who really have the experience and really know the art. Okay, so we know that, okay, in the fighting skill is about handling momentum. Martial art is not literature, it's not philosophy, it's not up for guessing. So for example, if you want to study Western boxing, you better get a coach of the Western boxing. You cannot just go down there and read a book sitting on the sofa and then read the book and thinking that one know Western boxing. One need to get a coach, experienced coach, to teach one, to show one what is the Western boxing momentum. Okay, how they handle the momentum, how they fight. On the same token, in terms of the physical body development, if one want to be a bodybuilder, one better get a coach of the bodybuilding to show one what is the state, okay, of a bodybuilding. Okay, how to do, say for example, how to do the squat properly, and what is the nutrition supplement one need to take, and then how the state, the physical state will develop, and so forth. So one need to have an experienced teacher be able to teach one on the momentum and the state of the conditioning the first day. Okay, and only once people know that, experience that, then the student be able to develop. Otherwise, it's sitting down there, say for example, okay, you're going to train Xiu Lim Tao. You're going to sit down there in iYikKam Yang Ma. Oh yeah, you're keeping doing it for next 3 years or 300 years, and someday you voila, you become somebody magic. Okay, there's no such thing happen. The first day you need to know what you're doing. Like the first day you go to a boxing class, Western boxing class, it show you, and you can see in the gym how people really fight, as it is. And if you want to learn bodybuilding, you go to the coach, and he show you how the muscle will look like, and what is the state of the muscle, the physical body, and what nutrition or so forth. It's not just sitting down there and you just, read this book. Okay, remember this philosophy. This is Qi, this is Jing, and all this stuff. And then you just do repeat what I do for all the time, and then you become good at it. Okay, there's no such thing as that. Okay, so in the ancient, like Ming Dynasty and so forth, teacher, the proper teacher, the teacher with experience, is very important. Not to mention that if you want to study, say, karate, you get a karate teacher. You want to study Thai boxing, it's Thai boxing teacher. You just want to study Western boxing teacher. You want to study jiu-jitsu teacher. Okay? So everybody have the different way of handling momentum, and you need to learn from them instead of you just go down there reading books and doing sets and all those kind of stuff. Okay? Okay. So one thing in the Chinese martial art has to be really careful. And in this physical body development part, that is what we call the soft way and the hard way. The hard way is referred as brute force muscle, brute force stuff. The soft way is mean that it accord to the human biomechanics and like the Yellow Emperor Classic. So it accord to the nature of the body. That's the soft way. Okay, soft way. So soft way is also the natural way, and hard way is actually the forceful way. Okay. So Wing Chun is a soft way of training. Wing Chun is not a hard way of training. The hard way of training, usually one cannot get over 40 years old to train, because like in China, there's plenty of the hard way of training, and their statistics show that, scientific statistics show that after 40 years old, their internal organs start to have problem surface. Okay, so one need to know this. Okay, and again, one need to learn this. If one want to learn this, one need to get a teacher who have experience in it. Otherwise, there's no way one can learn this thing. Okay, it's not just a read a book. So the soft way, once after one develop the soft way, one can tense up the body to strengthen the thing, the physical and so forth. Okay. However, the guy who do the hard way will not be able to loose up their body and get their body to nature, and they have a different type of characteristics. So that need to be known. And Wing Chun is a soft way, so it is not just anything or everything. Okay, and not to mention that everybody is different. So the teacher has to be experienced enough to prescribe proper training for every student. There's no such thing as cookie cutter, because it involves, when you want to develop your physical body and breathing, it involves the person's health conditions. Okay. Now, so let's talk about fighting. Okay, fighting. Because just face it, if you cannot fight, forget about it. A martial art is supposed to be able to fight. Okay. So in fighting, the first thing, the key, the heart of the fighting is momentum handling. In Chinese martial art, it says that the change of momentum. Okay, fighting is just an exchange of momentum, and momentum is a constant change, as we say that is always flow. Okay, and we know that there are 4 fighting zones there. Which is the long fist zone, which is meaning that there's a distance like 40 centimeter to 1 or 2 meter between opponent, and then the short strike zone, which is 2 opponents stick together, meaning that yes, the chest touching chest, okay, that close. And then there's the takedown zone, and then there the ground fight zone. So there are 4 zones here. So 4 fighting zones there. Okay. And all of this must be known, because this is fighting. This is not some kinds of movie. Okay. And as General Chi Chi Guang said, whatever hitting you or striking you, or you get hit by something, it will be something you have never know what it is. So for example, if the guy who know how to kick but have no idea what is takedown, well, you're gonna get taken down. Okay. Now, Wing Chun is expert in the zone 2 or the sticking body zone. Okay, if the zone 1 is a long fist zone, zone 2 is a sticking or close body zone, zone 3 is a takedown zone, zone 4 is the ground fight zone. Then Wing Chun is expert in the zone 2, and then carry to the zone 3, okay, which is close body zone. But Wing Chun has the basic of all these 4 zones. Otherwise, you're looking to get beat up, okay, because you have no idea what's going on. So that is the reality of fighting, and the teacher, the sifu or the coach has to be able to train one in this 4 zone, and the uniqueness or the expertise of Wing Chun. Otherwise, what is one studying, one training, one learning? Okay. Now, so over here we need to know one thing, is that momentum is supported by mechanics or force handling. This is what the Chinese somebody keeping talking about this called Jing. Okay. So Jing is simply the use of mechanics or the handling of the force or the use of strength. Okay, and this is actually supporting the handling of the momentum. So that's what it is. And of course, this mechanics and force handling has to obey a law of physics. Okay, there's nobody can flying around like a bird. Okay, human is human. And then there's another part, which is implement the momentum, is the techniques or the posture. Okay. So in order to implement momentum or realize momentum, you have this mechanics and you have this techniques. However, here we have to be careful here. Techniques is not always the same. Okay? The real bottom line of the fighting is the exchange of momentum. Techniques is just for implement it. And in different situation, different time, different era, techniques changes. So, for example, you have people invented aeroplane 100 years ago, the first aeroplane. Well, the techniques of the building that plane right now is obsolete. Okay, even though the mechanics, the aerodynamics, and so forth, all the law of physics, okay, the law of physics is still valid. A lot of techniques is obsolete because today you have better techniques. Okay, nobody's going to fly a plane on the first type of plane in the late 1800s, okay, or early 1900s. Today you have the jumbo jet and F-35, those kind of stuff. Okay. So by saying that, so ask the question: is Wing Chun is a Tan Bong Fok? No, Tan Bong Fok is actually only a simplified thing so that to let one start to study Wing Chun. The real core of Wing Chun is the momentum handling. Is the momentum handling of the Zone 2 and Zone 3, which is they specialize on and be able to handle all the 4 zones. That's the bottom line. So Tan Bong Fok is not called Wing Chun. They are just techniques. And techniques, this actually Tan Bong Fok is just some ancestor of Wing Chun make it easy for people to study. So you know how to prove that is the case? Well, as we know, there are four zones of momentum, 4 zones of fighting. You have the long fist, the short strike, the takedown, the groundwork. Tell me, can Tan Bong Fok solve all the issue of this 4 zones, or is just very limited issue which Tan Bong Fok can solve within this 4 momentum zone or the fighting zone? Okay, so that is what it is. Okay, don't take Tan Bong Fok as some kinds of ultimate. That techniques, as we say here, techniques is always changing. Okay, based on era and so forth. And Tan Bong Fok is just to make simple so that people can start to learn Wing Chun. But Wing Chun is much more than that. And the Wing Chun core is momentum. The same thing is as the iYikKam. You look at that. There are 4 fighting zones here: long fist, short strike, takedown, and groundwork. If you train the iYikKam, which couldn't even squat, what good is that? If you cannot squat, that means you couldn't even get into the takedown zone. You cannot even get close. When you say, well, I need the structure. Well, sorry. When you are in the short strike very close, body stick to the body. For example, like in this case, you need to use torque as prescribed in the Shaolin. There's no structure. There's no forward pressure. It's torque. It's spinning torque. Okay, this is, you can read it in the Shaolin writing. Okay. So if your Wing Chun Xiu Lin Tao iYikKam cannot handle that. What are you training? What are you doing? Again, is Wing Chun linear only? I just showed you just now the Shaolin close body short strike art. It is all torque and angular momentum in the physics. How is it Wing Chun is just linear? Okay, so one has to be careful. Techniques is not the bottom line. The bottom line is momentum, and this is changing. Technique is keeping changing, and it evolving. The more your opponent or your enemy have or evolve their technology, and you want to follow it up. Say for example, General Guang, he have to evolve with the Japanese pirates samurai sword. Look at that. That's the reality of the Chinese martial arts. So if one keeping saying that, for example, oh yeah, I want to fly this 1900 aeroplane, that is the ultimate of the flying machine. Well, we better wake up, okay? Today people have F-35. Maybe tomorrow we have F-65, and you couldn't even know what it is if keeping thinking that, oh yeah, you know, the first plane in 1900 is the ultimate. Okay, so one need to be pay attention and focus on the momentum and the mechanics, keeping improving it, and while at the same time the techniques has to keep evolve and expand. When people is not using arrow and bow anymore but using machine gun, are you still saying that, oh, because the ancestor is using arrow and bow, then that's the ultimate, you can beat everything? I mean, come on. Okay, so this is the technology. This is not a myth. Okay, that's why I say again and again. Even General Guang have to evolve the Chinese martial art for his soldier or army when they fought the Japanese pirate in the 1560s. So what is the difference from then to now, 500 years later? Okay, so one need to face reality on this, and also, you know, don't get stuck into this so-called jing. What jing or handling of force is just handling of the force, the mechanic to support the momentum play. If one have no idea of the long fist, short strike, takedown, or the ground fight, you can have all jing you want, but you're still going down. Because you have no idea what hit you. As the General Guang said, what hit you will be something which you don't know what it is. Okay? So just has to be really careful. Momentum, the change of momentum is the bottom line. Techniques, there's no such thing as a cookie cutter and one fit everything and forever and time independent and those kind of stuff. Everything changes. Okay? So that's the reality of fighting in Wing Chun. Now, speaking of the body, physical and body development conditioning, okay? State is very important. State is very important, okay? And in this state, actually, is developing the bone, tendon, muscle development and the breathing development. So the Chinese said, externally, you train or you develop the bone, tendon, muscle, and the inside your body, within your body, you train that breathing. Now, if one do not have a healthy, well-trained body, physical body, and one do not have be able to breathe properly with deep breathing, as we know that stamina in today's words, how is one supposed to get into fight? How can one fight? There's no way for that. Okay. So in Wing Chun, the instructor need to be able to lead one to the state of what does it mean by a well developed body, physical body, and what is the well developed breathing. So the state 2C, as I coined it here, is actually the state of being able to have a proper physical body handling in statics and with a deep breathing. Okay, so 2C meaning that it is in static, one have a proper physical and proper breathing. The state 3B is the state which is at dynamic, one have a proper breathing and proper body mechanics. Okay, so if you want to know about what the Chinese say is that the 2C is called 心气to 丹田. It just simply means that you can have a very deep, very natural and deep breathing, okay, and with a really proper body handling in static. And 3B is on top of that 2C, state 2C, one be able to move in dynamic, and the breathing is supporting it without suffocating things or jamming things. So that's 3B, okay? So in terms of the Chinese traditional martial art, if one have not developed the 2B, the 2C and 3B, one is not even start to develop any Kung Fu yet, because fighting, one need a body to support it. If one do not have this 2B state, how is one going to fight? One have no stamina, one cannot move, one's punch cannot is not supported by their breathing and so forth. There's no way one can fight. Okay, so the teacher is very important. The first day, the teacher need to show the student how are you going to stand in proper iYikKam ma, so you can achieve the 2C. The 3B is when you start to move, like practice some techniques, Wing Chun techniques, like a form or sets, one better be able to breathe and be able to properly handling the body with the mechanics. Okay, so this is the 3B. Okay, so only after one develop the 2C and 3B over here, one be able to support this fighting here. Otherwise, make no sense at all. And of course, in order to develop the 2C and 3B, one need nutrition. Okay, it's like a lifting weight, bodybuilding. If you don't have, don't eat those protein and so forth, you don't have the energy. Now, another key we need to know is this. At some point, one need to train the anti-impact development, like the hitting by the medicines ball and so forth, so that the body can take impact to conditions one's body. And that in Chinese martial and in Wing Chun is actually need the base of the 2C and 3B. So 3B meaning that, okay, when you move your body, when you do a strike or anything, your breathing go with it. Okay, so in the anti-impact or the body conditioning, one need to base on that state, so that when one get hit, get the impact, either one strike other or strike oneself, one be able to breathe properly. Okay, because that is about energy and the body circulation and so forth. So in Chinese, the body condition for the anti-impact actually has to come after the 2B state. Before that, train this type of stuff is known to be damaging. Okay, there's 100 years of proof there. Okay, and also the conditioning and this anti-impact is not everybody's a piece of cake, because people like diabetic or like a high blood pressure and all kinds of sickness, they must not touch this kind of stuff, because they're very body demanding. And also while training this anti-impact, actually one need herbs, medications, and whole bunch of stuff. Okay, Otherwise, the body will damage or tear, have this tear and wear, or when you get injury, you need to handle that. Okay, so this is professional stuff. So that is how it is in the traditional martial art is practiced or trained. That's how the sequence, okay, and the details, the key, and the sequence has to be trained that way. If without this kind of training, forget about it. Okay, it is Wing Chun is not a code. Now, we like to talk here a little bit on this mental stillness development and the energy development. Okay, over here is people sometimes say mind power, and then here's the chi. It's mind power. Well, you can see that this group of things is actually not in the main part of the martial arts. This is actually to make the body and mind and the breathing handling more effective. That's the purpose for it. Okay. So over here it has a different state. State 1 is one need to be able to settle one's mind. Okay. State 2 is only after one be able to settle one's mind when the breathing and the mind fuse together, then one get into the state be able to develop the energy flow handling. And only after that one be able to direct the energy flow with one's mind or intention. Okay, so it is belongs to here, which is not the main part here. This is to boost up the body conditioning and so forth, and for health and so forth. So this is the part. So this has to be really careful here. What is what? Where is what? Okay. Today many people are actually jumping the gun without knowing this momentum, but thinking they have the special jing. Okay. And then have no idea of this breathing and the conditioning and the anti-impact, but just go, oh, I got this chi stuff, okay? So then the entire thing become a fantasy when you keeping talking this mysterious jing or power, and then talking about this mysterious chi, and missing the entire picture here. Okay, it is predictable. It's a mess there. It's gonna get nowhere. And so it's like a cult, sitting down there and keeping talking about this internal stuff. Okay? So one need to be really careful on that. That's not even the proper Wing Chun, and not even the proper traditional Chinese martial arts. And finally, I like to show you the 4 levels of Wing Chun Kung technology. So as we talk about just now, the 2B and 2C exist here. And then the 4A level 4A is after one have a 2C and 3B, one include or fuse the mechanics into it to reach the state 4A. And after one have 4A, when one fuse the 4A with the momentum handling, then one get 5A. So that is the 4 basic level of the Wing Chun the technology development. This just for core plain basic. It's not even advanced yet. Okay, without this kind of stuff, it's hopeless. Okay, you need to have all this to be able to have a function Wing Chun. It's not just like wearing the pajama, go to class and doing the Xiu Lin Tao. And I don't even know what happened with the Xiu Lin Tao. Couldn't even breathe, and then I couldn't even sit down, squat down. It's not going to get anywhere. Why? Because everything is scientific, and the ancient Chinese is not like that. Okay? So this is what I like to share with you today. Again, if we are not serious on what we are doing, don't expect other people to take us serious, and especially those formal martial artists and formal universities researchers. they are not going to take you serious, okay? Because if what we do is not even fitting to the common sense, how can we expect other people to take us serious? So this is to share with you today.